Okay, let's continue now with Roland. All right. So as you can see, we have a pretty much different route than what we have before. Before I reveal why this is my march, I just want to show you guys the skills that we have on Roland. And thankfully Roland was fixed, because if not, there's going to be a riot for sure. Because we are not getting healings and the working skills before. And yesterday, luckily, we have tested Roland and he is now good and better than ever. So we have his commander skills called Durandal. We also have here deals might damage up to 3 enemy troops around you. Then deals rate is, or damage rate is 320% might bonus, and reduces their damage dealt by 15%. The only thing missing here on your Roland is actually the initial rage. He doesn't have initial rage, so that's actually a downside if you are commander. So this is a no-no for a commander. Now we have here Oliphant, which is his signature skill. Now when your troops takes normal attack or skill damage, there is a 35% chance, which is pretty high, to reduce the enemy's damage dealt to your troop by 20%. That is a huge damage increase or damage reduction increase. And you increase your commander's smite damage by 25% for 3 seconds. Now triggers up to 1 time per second, which is pretty good. That is pretty good. 1 time per second. How many damage can you really get from that? And also, the commander's smite damage is pretty good. Now, also, every 3 times your other heroes in your troop deals skill damage. For example, you have your Vlad and your Cyrus now. Continuous damage effects excluded, like burn, like rout, or something like that, recovers your units. Now you know why I have my hands or my troops with Vlad in there instead of Mansa Musa. Because Vlad has all of his skills that has damage. So that's one reason why. And the recovery rate is actually 70% plus smite bonus. How much is that? And reduces your troops damage taken also by 25% for 6 seconds, up to 1 time every 3 seconds is the activation of this one. Now, based on just that, you can already imagine how Roland will work with Mansa Musa or versus your Vlad with your Cyrus. Just based on that. That I'm not saying that this will not work with Mansa Musa. We have tested it. It also worked with a Mansa Musa. But rather, it is pretty damn confusing on the first time that we tried that we have more healing with a Vlad instead of a Mansa Musa. The total healing that we did with a Vlad is way better than we have with Roland and Mansa Musa. And it was very confusing at first, but we really understood it because of this signature skill. If you don't believe me, just wait for Roland and get on with it. We have the skills also here, and we have the customizable skills of Knight's Anthem and Golden Odyssey. So this is a no-brainer for me, especially if you have a Vlad in your troops, so you need more healing. So this one with the Knight's Anthem, you have every 4 seconds your troops take skill damage, reduces your troops damage taken by 12%. Now that is for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, there is or an 50% chance to recover now your units, and the recovery rate is 100%. So this is every 4 times your troops take skill damage. Imagine if you are being swarmed, which we happen to do so during the depot trials. 4 times your troops take skill damage. It doesn't say that 4 times is going to be how many seconds. As long as you are attacked by 4 times, it will activate. The only constriction on this one is actually the seconds. The 3 seconds. So that's actually it. But if you are being swarmed, you will consistently activate this one. That's why he is a monster when it comes to healing and defense. Now, after that, we have the Golden Odyssey, which I think most of you guys already know. The Golden Odyssey, after your troops takes 12 normal attacks, which is way better if you're being swarmed, and counts up to 2 times per second, is recovers your troops unit, recovery rate at 130%, yes, plus smite bonus and armor bonus. Now, and also increases the damage dealt by your commander by 20%, which is pretty good. That's why you always need this. Now, this is for 3 seconds. Now, the other two skills here, Tenacity and Fearless, I think is not going to be really useful here. As you can see, we didn't even try to use them. You don't even want to change your Knight's Anthem to your Metal because that's going to be a downgrade. This is actually the super upgrade if you're going to ask me, and it's actually a pretty good skill to have. Now here, as you can see, we have the stars. On the first one, we have the increase of Oliphant's trigger chance by an additional 5% and reduce damage dealt to your troop by the target by an additional 10%. So 1 star is pretty good. Oliphant now increases your commander's might damage by an additional 15% and recovery by 15% at rank 3. Now the question is, you're going to ask for sure, is it good to have him at 3 stars? Now let me just show you first the 5th rank. On the 5th rank, every 3 instances of damage dealt by your other heroes triggers the recovery effect of Oliphant, and additionally reduces your troops' damage taken by 25%. Now, let me ask you again, do you think that Roland is better with 5 star or just 3 star? Okay, I think you already have made up your mind. So for me, Roland is better at 5 stars. You need to 5-star Roland. But as I've said, it's not going to be easy for free-to-play players or low spenders. But I think by now, if you have skipped your other heroes, or maybe if you have been waiting for Roland for a while and you have saved up, especially players who were using Barbarosa for a long time, I think you have already saved up some universal hero medals, because the first time we leaked Roland, that is like 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons, I think it was back in season 5. So I think you should have been saving up from then. So I think it's safe to say that there are free-to-play players, especially that I know of, that already have been waiting for Roland and have saved up hero medals already. So for me, this is achievable by free-to-play player as long as you have your saved up hero medals from before. Now, is Roland pretty good, especially for free-to-play players? Yes, I can say that he can work with free-to-play players or for free-to-play players, but he is better at 5 stars. But then again, I will say that Roland really do slaps. So Roland is pretty good with this March, particularly for the reason that I have told you. With much, or every time your troops takes damage or deals damage, you will have a healing. Every time your troops also deals damage, receives damage, then you also have a healing. That is why Roland is a healing beast when it comes to the battlefield, is because of that. That is also one reason why, if you are only going to think of replacing Barbarosa, as much as it pains me because I'm a Barbarosa fan and user, I would say that Roland is actually going to replace Barbarosa. I'm sorry guys, we have to take a moment to say goodbye to our very long time friend, Mr. Frederick Barbarosa. And now that's finished, I think Barbarosa do. But this time around, I think Roland is going to be the one that you need in order for you to reach the next level for your troops. Now, ring selection, I think, is the next one. So, the question is, can you still use Mansa Musa? Yes, as I've said, with Mansa Musa, this is going to be a little bit tankier, but you will see less healing from Roland. But it's going to be a little bit tankier. But with this one, it's mixed of damage and healing and tankiness. So, healing is different from tankiness. There are healers that doesn't have tankiness. Okay, so this is my recommendation: Cyrus, Vlad, and Roland. Now, for free-to-play players, I know you already have your LOD. Don't kid me, because I already know that you have that. Then on your let's go first with the high-ranking rings. Let's go for your Vlad. Your Vlad, you want your hands on, where is it? The Celestial Spark. And then on your Roland, the ultimate build here is your Sage of Judgment. Okay, now for low spenders, you should already be having your LOD. I think that's your legendary medal or legendary ring. I'm sorry. And then here you can also use your badger now. You know why you can use your badger now? Because you have a lot of healing, a lot of defense. Now you only need more damage here. And the more damage you have, the better you do in the field. Now, if you do not have the Sage of Judgment for your Roland, the only other option I think that it's safe to say that is pretty good is the Ring of Falcon. You are a free-to-play player, right? You can use the Ring of Falcon. Consistent healing plus the healing effect. The healing effect, imagine how much damage you will deal with your troops, also being healed at the same time by Roland. That healing effect is at just level 30, which is achievable. I have level 30 already on my free-to-play account with the Ring of Falcon because it's easy to get. So it's free-to-play player friendly. The Ring of Falcon with the healing, with the defense, it's going to really help your troops out. So if you're a free-to-play player and you can only afford one legendary ring, and I know if you are a Pikemen user, you should already have the Messenger of Destruction. And also, those are the two other rings that I want you to get. The Badger is for sure you already have that one. And then just add the Ring of Falcon, which I use also on my Barbarosa. I don't know what you are using with your Barbarosa, but it actually gives him more healing. But anyway, that is actually my suggestion also. If you're going to ask me if you can put in a Tranquil ring on there, I would say yes, you can. But maybe put it on, let's say, Vlad. If you don't want any more Badger, if you don't want Badger, then put it on Vlad. But still, I think getting your Ring of Falcon here for extra additional healings will really do you good, especially in the battlefield. As a free-to-play player, you want that extra edge on healing, for me, in my opinion. Because the other option here, I think, is only the Ring of Judgment. But yeah, that's actually how it works. Now, for your Mercenary, the Mercenary that I want you to get here is actually the damage one, which is the what do you call this? The Swiss Pikeman. This based on our test, this actually did more damage, and you don't want to be defensive anymore because you already have your Roland. What you need is to maximize your damage for your Cyrus and for your Vlad. Now this line up with your Swiss Pikeman will really do you good. Even if you have a Mansa Musa in here instead of Vlad, I think the that Mercenary, which is the Swiss Pikeman, will still be your standard. And with that, I think it's safe to say that this March, even for free-to-play players, this is a free-to-play player-friendly March, as I've said. You can actually get this heroes here, and you will have a very good March. And even if you have a Barbarosa, Mansa Musa before, you skip Vlad, no problem. Just replace Vlad with Mansa Musa, and you're going to be good with it. And as I've said, this hero, Roland, and this March slaps. And hey, click on this video right here for more awesome TITOBODS content. Thanks for watching, you guys, and TITOBODS out.